So what we have here is the data of how many words they remembered using strategy 1, strategy 2. Calculate the difference of each pair. Now notice the direction it's asking us to calculate. S1 minus S2 minus S1. All right? So 14 minus 2 is 2. 11 minus 10 is 1. So I'm just going to keep going here. This must be negative 1, right? Because 11 minus 12. So just be aware that can happen. 4, negative 3, 2, 2, 4, 8, 0, 3, 2, negative 2, 4, 3, 2, negative 2, 3, 5, 0. So what we've done is take two sets of data, right? Each individual did both strategies, didn't they? And we counted up how many words did they remember. So what we're interested in is the difference in the two strategies. So what we have here is a dot plot of those differences. These ones we just calculated, they were so kind. They created the dot plot for us. Isn't that nice? So where on this dot plot represents that there's no difference? 0, right? So these three guys, right, had no difference. What about these negative numbers? What is that telling me? Which strategy worked better? Strategy 1 was better for those peeps, right? And then going forward, 1 and forward would mean that strategy 2 worked better. All right. So then it says, what does the dot plot suggest about the memory's training? Well, 20 out of 27 remembered more words with strategy 2. That's what it suggests. Okay, excuse me. All right, now, what we've done then is calculate the mean and the standard deviation of the differences up here, okay? So that's what we're looking at the bottom of the page here. So the mean of the differences would be x bar of the differences. If you calculated it out, it came out to 2.07, and the standard deviation came out to 2.51. So this would be the S of the differences. If I had to interpret the mean, I'd say on average, a student remembers 2.07 more words using strategy 2. Okie dokie. Now, that's the gist of how we would set up a matched pair. So on the back here, we're going to do the confidence interval for it. All right, so it's just this construct and interpret, or construct a confidence interval for the true mean difference in words remembered by students using story, which is strategy 2, then rereading. All right, so the parameter, when you define your parameter with a matched pair, it's going to be mu of the differences. And it's going to be the true mean of the difference in words remembered. I'm just going to indicate strategy 2 minus strategy 1. Okay? True mean of the difference. And words remembered. All right. The statistics we just gave you was 2.01, and the standard deviation was 2.51. Yeah. Okay. And we wanted a 95% interval. Okay. That being said, name the procedure. What procedure would we use here? Okay. T interval. Interval, yeah. So we do a one sample T interval for, instead of saying match pair, you can be mu of the difference. Okay, mu of the difference. You can say match pair, that's not wrong. That's fine if you'd rather say that. Or you could say matched pair T interval. That's legal as well. Okay. Now, our conditions. Let's think about this. If you think back to this scenario, is this an experiment or a sampling? Experiment. How do you know? There was a treatment imposed, right? Treatment was imposed, and it was randomly assigned treatments. Did y'all catch that? So, as I realized, okay, it's an experiment. So when I do random, I need to say the treatment was randomly assigned. And that matters. Here's why that matters. Because if it's randomly assigned, I'm just going to put a little sidebar, that means we can conclude cause and effect. If there's random assignment in a good experiment, we can conclude cause and effect. You may or may not remember that from chapter 4, but here it comes again. Or I guess I should say treatments were randomly assigned, huh? Because there's two treatments in this case. All right. What about 10% rule? Do I need to check it? Not if it's an experiment. This is not a sample, is it? So I'm just going to put a little note to myself. 10% rule not needed because it's an experiment. Now, normally you wouldn't write that, but this is for notes, so we'll go ahead. Now, how can we check if it's normal? Can we use CLT? No. There's only 27, right? But they were so kind. They gave us a dot plot, didn't they? If you look at our previous page, do you see any strong skewness or outliers? No. So I would say dot plot of the differences does not show strong skewness or outliers. So I will point out the dot plot is of the differences, right? If this was a 2-sample test, we would have to do 2 dot plots, wouldn't we? So this one, you only do 1 dot plot of the differences. It gets confusing because the words are so similar. Now, on the do step, remember a good old confidence interval starts with the point estimate plus or minus the margin of error. But specifically when we get into means, it's going to be not t, it's going to be the x bar of our differences plus or minus the t star s of the differences over the square root of n. Now, do you have to write all that out? No. This is just reminding you. What do you need to write out for work? You'll need to show me, okay, what is the x of the differences? What is the s of the differences? It's just rewriting, and then the n value. N was 27, 2.07, 2.51. You would also want to indicate what is the degrees of freedom here? 26, yeah. So, because I know you're going to put this in your calculator, right? So you don't need to do all the work. Let's just put this in our calculator. Let's find it. Stat test. We are looking for 1 sample t interval. Or just t interval, right? Number 8. That's the test we're going to use. We're going to input statistics because that's what they gave us. Okay, so I get 1.08 to 3.06. All right, how do we interpret an interval?
You're 95% confident.
Yep. We are 95% confident that the interval from 1.08 to 3.06 words captures the true mean difference in words remembered using story with strategy 1 or strategy 2 over reading. So you can rephrase it a little bit, but it does have the context, right? You can say strategy 2 over strategy 1, that's fine. Okay? So far so good? It's really just a T interval, isn't it? Your job is, the hardest part of this is identifying is this a match pair or two sample, but we'll work on that in a minute. Now look at this common follow-up question here. Do we have convincing evidence that there is more words remembered using story instead of rereading? Yes, how do you know?
All the plausible values of the difference are positive.
Everything's positive, right? So if we subtract 2 minus 1 and they're all coming out positive, that means 2 is strong, right? Yes. So you would say yes. All the plausible values in the interval are positive. That is our evidence. Okie dokie. Now, on the back, I don't know that we'll spend time in class, but I will, I'll record myself working the application problem. If you want to go back and watch it, you can and check yourself. Try it out. But in the notes up here, it's really distribution of differences. All right, that's what we're doing is matched pair, paired data. Nothing majorly new there. We've covered it. Okay. So again, I will show you this. I'll work it out and you can try it on your own. All right. Now let's switch over.